What's up guys, Aaron here, back with another video. In today's video we're going to be doing a versus and comparison between the Apple Watch, the Samsung Gear S2, and the Samsung Gear S smartwatches. Welcome back, and let's start off by taking a closer look at all three devices. First off, we have the Apple Watch with a 1.5-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 390 by 312 with a total PPI count of 326. On the right side of the watch we have the digital crown as well as the friends button, and on the left side we have our speaker as well as our microphone. On the back we have our heart rate sensor as well as two specific locations to remove the top and bottom band. Now we're taking a look at the 42mm Apple Watch Sport, and it ships with the fluoroelastomer band and also ships with a smaller size band in case you need it. Next up we have the Samsung Gear S2 with a 1.2-inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 360 by 360 for a PPI count of 302. On the right side we have two buttons, our back and home button, as well as a microphone. There's nothing located on the left side, and on the back we have our heart rate sensor. Now the Gear S2's band is also a fluoroelastomer and rubber style band just like the Apple Watch and feels nearly identical. The Gear S2 also comes with a very classic style buckle. Now our main input method for the Apple Watch is going to be our digital crown. Now our main input method for the Gear S2 is going to be the rotating bezel. The Apple Watch Sport has a very nice soft flexible band, and it easily attaches by sliding in the hole. Then you can tuck the remainder of the band inside the interior of the band itself. Next up we have the original Gear S that has a 2-inch Super AMOLED display with the resolution of 480 by 360. Now, there's nothing located on the right or left side of the watch. There's only a home button located on the front bottom section. The Gear S has a very nice 2-inch curved display with polished chamfered edges. On the interior portion of the watch we have our heart rate sensor, our SIM card tray. This is a standalone device that comes with its own phone number, and we also have our charging pins. Now the Gear S does have a soft band as well, however it's a little more stiffer than the other three devices. However, it has the nicest clasp design out of all three. Now that we've taken a closer look at all three smartwatches, I'm going to go ahead and run down the list of categories that I made and see which one is the best in each. So the first category is build quality, look, and feel. Now this first category is extremely tough to pick a winner because they all three have something innovative about them. For example, the Apple Watch has the digital crown as its main input method, which is extremely nice to have. The Gear S2 looks extremely sporty and also has a very nice input method, which is the rotating bezel. The original Samsung Gear S has an extremely nice 2-inch curved display with chamfered edges, as well as a full keyboard. And the Gear S has the nicest clamping mechanism, maybe not the nicest band, but the nicest clamping mechanism out of all three. I think the original Gear S is extremely nice with the 2-inch curved display, and once again it also has the more premium buckle. And if you're looking at all three of them side by side like we are now, you can see that the Gear S just looks more premium. So again, for this particular category I'd have to say the winner is the Gear S. The next category is the battery life. The Gear S2 has a 250 milliamp hour battery, and I'm getting around 2 days of battery life on a single charge. Now in comparison to the Gear S2's 2-day battery life, the Apple Watch is only giving me around 1 day. Now the original Gear S has a 300 milliamp hour battery, and I'm getting about 3 days of battery life. So in terms of battery life, I'd have to give it again to the original Gear S. The next category is the best OS, so which out of these three has the best operating system? So we're running Watch OS 2 on the Apple Watch Sport. It has a very nice user interface. It's extremely easy to interact with whether you're touching the display or actually using the digital crown. So you can hover around your applications until you find the specific app that you're looking for. So in my opinion, Watch OS 2 works extremely well on the Apple Watch. Next up we have the Gear S2, which works extremely good as well. We have a rotating bezel that works extremely well and allows us to switch between applications. The main operating system on the Gear S2 is Tizen. Now on the original Gear S we're also running Tizen, which also runs buttery smooth on this device as well. Now with that being said, the best operating system out of all three devices is going to have to be the Apple Watch and Watch OS, and the reason is because of the rich app ecosystem. Samsung and Tizen's applications that are dedicated for their smartwatch are still in an infancy stage, meaning that they still don't have enough applications to compete with the Apple Watch. So in this particular category, I'd say that the Apple Watch wins. Next is most features. So out of these three, which one has the most features included for the price? Now the winner of this particular category is going to have to be the original Gear S, and the reason is because it's, for one, a standalone device. So what that means is that it comes with its own SIM card and its own phone number. So I can literally leave my phone at home, go jogging, go running, go to the store, and I can answer and make phone calls just from the watch itself. The watch also has a full QWERTY keyboard, along with a microphone and a speaker. So in the category of most features, I'd have to say that the original Gear S wins. For having a full QWERTY keyboard, for also having a dedicated SIM card in the device, which makes it a true standalone device, which the other two smartwatches aren't. The original Gear S also has a speaker and a microphone, which means you can receive and make calls straight from the device. On the Apple Watch Sport, you can receive calls because it does have a microphone and a speaker as well. However, it's not a standalone device, it doesn't have its own SIM card, and it still requires the iPhone to be close by. Now the Gear S2 is a complete fail in this particular category because it only has a microphone and no speaker. So again, in this particular category, the original Gear S wins. Next up is the price. So out of these three smartwatches, which is the best bang for your buck? Now this is going to be a hard category to judge because the Gear S is an older device, so it's cheaper now. I'd have to say that if you're looking at the price range right now currently on the market, the original Gear S is going to be the best bang for your buck. However, if we excluded the Gear S since it's older and we're looking at the two models from this year and flagship smartwatches from each company, Gear S2 is $100 cheaper than the Apple Watch in terms of the 42mm Apple Watch Sport. So there's two answers to this particular category. If you're looking at all three smartwatches, which is what we are doing in this video, I have to say that the Gear S is the best bang for your buck. Now if we're looking at just the two flagship smartwatches, which is the Apple Watch Sport and the Gear S2, I have to say that the Gear S2 is the winner, coming in at $100 cheaper than the 42mm Apple Watch Sport. The next category is which one has the best band. Now to me, the Apple Watch and the Gear S2 have a similar feeling band, however the Apple Watch's feels a lot more softer. This one feels kind of stiff, however it does still feel soft. Now this is one category where the original Gear S is definitely not going to win because in my opinion this has one of the stiffest and probably most uncomfortable bands out of all three of them. Now this has the best locking mechanism and best clasp out of all three of them. So in regards to the locking mechanisms, so this one has a pin style locking mechanism, this one has more of a classic style, and this one has a very nice jewelry style clasp. However, the category isn't the locking mechanism, it's the bands. So in this particular category, I'd have to give it to the Apple Watch Sport for being the most comfortable and the most soft. Next, which one has the best display? Now I think the Gear S2 has the best looking display. However, out of all three of them, I like the 2-inch curved display the best. I don't know what it is about the 2-inch curved display on the original Gear S, but to me it almost seems like the first time I moved from a small smartphone screen up to a bigger style, phablet style screen. I really enjoyed the screen real estate that was added, and for me, every time I go back to a smaller screen phone, it just doesn't seem right. When I was using this 2-inch screen on a daily basis, it felt right, I think because it has a curved display to it and it didn't stand out straight like a brick. It kind of curves around your arm and forms very nicely to your wrist. So again, going back from a big huge display like this to a smaller display on both the Apple Watch Sport as well as the Gear S2 just kind of feels like I'm taking a step backwards. So this category does have two winners. In terms of the best looking display, I have to give it to the Gear S2. However, in terms of the display size and which display size I would pick out of all three, I like the original Gear S's size. Next up is the app ecosystem, and we really don't even have to compare them on this because, as I mentioned earlier, the app ecosystem is way more mature than Tizen and Samsung. So for the category of the best app ecosystem, the Apple Watch wins hands down. Next up is which one has the best battery charger. Now in regards to Apple's charger, we have an inductive MagSafe charger that's concaved on one side and flat on the other. The side that's concaved is also magnetic, so it adheres to the back of the Apple Watch. The Gear S2 has somewhat of a charging cradle dock that's magnetic on the back of it, so you can simply place the Gear S2 on the back and it adheres to the back of the magnetic strip. We also get an LED indicator here letting us know when the watch is fully charged. Now on the original Gear S, we have this wireless dock with charging pins that needs to be aligned with the charging pins on the back of the Gear S. And to do that, you simply place it on the back and push it in. And as you can see, we have an LED indicator here that's red when it needs to be charged and green when it's completely charged. Now this is rather bulky and kind of cumbersome to keep track of. However, this does hold its own charge, so you can charge this up and charge the watch up. And if you're out and about doing things during the day and you run out of charge on your smartwatch, you can easily connect this to the back and receive a quick charge. So that's one thing that I do like about this particular style charger. So in the category of the best charger, I'd have to say that I give it to the Gear S2. In my opinion, every smartwatch charger should be a charging cradle. The next category is the best input method. Now when it comes to the Apple Watch, we have the digital crown as well as touch for input methods. And in my opinion, the digital crown is an awesome way to interact with the user interface. Now on the Gear S2, we have a rotating bezel, which in my opinion is also an extremely nice way to interact with the user interface. And on the original Gear S, all we have is the touchscreen option. So in this particular category, to me it's a tie in between the Apple Watch and the Gear S2 with the digital crown and the rotating bezel. However, for the video, I'm going to go ahead and pick one and in my opinion, I think the rotating bezel is extremely nice. Now, it feels extremely natural. Now, don't get me wrong, the Apple Watch Sports digital crown also feels very natural. However, there's something about the clicking sensation and the turning of the wheel on the front bezel of the Gear S2 that feels satisfying and just feels extremely natural. So for this particular category, I have to say again, it's a tie. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to have to pick one, and I have to pick the Gear S2. And lastly, which smartwatch should you get? Now, the answer is probably extremely simple for you if you're locked into an ecosystem. For instance, if you're an Android user, you're going to pick up the Gear S or the Gear S2. And if you're an iPhone user, you're going to pick up the Apple Watch. Now, if you use both platforms like myself, or if you're planning on switching from one platform to the other, then I can see where comparing all these three would be relevant. So there's a couple things to keep in mind when you're planning on purchasing one of these three smartwatches. One of the biggest things I would say is battery life. So if you're looking for a smartwatch that has the longest battery life, then you're going to have to go with the original Gear S. If you're looking for a smartwatch that has a very nice input method, then you'll be happy with either the Gear S2 or the Apple Watch. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that the Apple Watch has a ton of accessories, so you have a lot of band options as well as a lot of case options. You can't go wrong in terms of the display out of any of them, and the build quality is excellent on all three as well. So to answer the question in this particular category, and that is which one should you buy, I would highly recommend the Apple Watch if you're an iPhone user, and I'd highly recommend the Gear S2 if you're an Android user. Now, if you're a user of both platforms and you have to pick between them, I'd say that I'd go with the Apple Watch over the Gear S2. And the main reason for that is that you're able to make and receive phone calls directly on the Apple Watch. If you have any questions for me that I didn't cover in the video, be sure to leave them down in the comments section and I will answer them. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for me in this video. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button and you will be notified in your inbox every time I upload a new video. Don't forget to drop a like down below and leave a comment down in the comments section. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you guys for watching. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Aaron and I'll see you guys on the next one.